Hey there, greetings, peace, light, and love. My name is Kristen with a D for those that aren't familiar with me. And thank you for tuning in to another message. Um, Currently at the park, like I say in almost all my videos, life keeps moving, but it is important for me to get this information out. So um, I'm going to do it even if it doesn't necessarily feel like the perfect times to do it. So my girls are having some outdoors time at the park. I try to get them outside every day. Um, Typically, we do get outside every day. Connecting to nature, connecting to source energy is super important. And it's very critical when it comes to the well-being of children. It actually helps with nighttime routines. Like, I can tell a difference in our days when we don't get outside and connect, which is why those days are few and far in between. Until it gets cold, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do once it gets really cold out here. But until then, we're going to get out as much as we can. And I'm going to do my work regardless of convenience. Yes, baby. I think you should go down the slide. So today's message that I want to share with you, as briefly as possible, is on moon phases. I've already shared a little bit about the full moon in Aries that we're experiencing now. We're at about 99% right now at my time of recording this. So we are almost at 100% illumination. So the moon is almost 100% full. Super intense energy to deal with in general. Um, so that's super dope. But I wanted to do a video kind of giving an overview on what it is that I'm talking about, generally speaking. Moon phases. You have the sun, which is our core energy. As far as we know, the sun is stationary. You have to share, baby, and if you do that, we're not going to play at all. We're not going to clown. Yes, mommy? Thank you. So the sun, core energy, as far as we know, is stationary within our solar system. The earth orbits around the sun. As far as we know, it takes about 365 days to get for the earth to make one complete revolution around the sun. And as the earth is revolving around the sun, the moon is revolving around the earth. Now the moon does not have it does not illuminate light in and of itself. It reflects light from the sun. And so everything is in motion. As the moon is moving around the earth, we witness the position of the moon causes us to witness different phases of illumination. Well, those phases of illumination is what has an impact on the earth's actual energy. Each phase is significant to the earth. And so that is why understanding moon phases and understanding specifically the zodiac, so that you'll know what position the sun and the moon are in, are so important, because they have direct impacts on our day-to-day lives. So yes, moon phases. The moon, the beginning of the phase, the beginning of the cycle is dark moon, or the beginning of the cycle is the new moon. It's where it is at 0%, and it's completely dark. You can't see anything as far as illumination is concerned, but you know that it's there, obviously. So new moon, 0%, and then it goes through a waxing phase where it begins to increase in illumination up until half. Once it gets to 50%, once it gets to 50% increasing illumination, that is our first quarter moon. And then it continues to increase until it gets to 100%. Once it makes it to 100%, that's considered the full moon. And then it's going to begin to decrease in illumination again, which is your waning moon cycle. I know I've called it waning before. We all learn, we all go through our process. So it's actually considered the waning process of the cycle, waning part of the cycle. So waning is when the moon is decreasing in illumination and it's going back down to 0%, where you will experience 0%, zero illumination. That time period of zero illumination is actually split into half, and the first part of it is considered a dark moon. The second half of it is considered the new moon again, and the process starts over again. Each phase is super significant to Earth's energy, I keep on saying. And new moon is the time for you to plant seeds. This is me just shooting through it as quickly as I can because, life. New moon is the time for you to plant seeds. Waxing is a time for you to nurture those seeds. It's a time for you to tend to those seeds or your plant seeds. What I mean by seeds, I also mean intentions, things that you want to focus on, things that you are focusing on. It's the time to give it what it needs, to nurture it, to discipline it, to just be intentional in those endeavors. At the next point, you're going to go into your full moon energy. Full moon energy is a time of celebration. It's a time of harvest. It's a time of acknowledging the fruit that you have produced. You are spinning. I see you, big girl. Out here playing. It's the little things in life.
You showing kids off?
You showing kids off? Yes, it's a good day in the park. And the third one is right there. So those are my babies. So yes, full moon. Can you run to the stage? You can run to the stage. So we have full moon energy. Full moon is a time of acknowledging the fruit, acknowledging your harvest. It's a time of acknowledging what's working and what's not working, kind of like a reflective period of time. And in this time, you are to begin to acknowledge what needs to be released. And as you're acknowledging what needs to be released, you are positioning yourself to release it with gratitude. So this is a time to offer forgiveness to yourself and forgiveness to other people during the full moon energy. Full moon energy causes a lot of emotions to come up, and usually it's stuff that needs to be dealt with. So full moon time is peak energy, peak time for you to deal with the stuff you got to deal with. From the full moon, the moon is going to begin to decrease in illumination again, which is your waning phases of the cycle. During this cycle, you're actually doing the work of unrooting, of digging up what doesn't work, of doing some really deep self-reflections, and of being intentional in removing what does not serve you, and clearing your ground and preparing your soil for the next cycle. Because like I keep saying, the cycles are going to come whether you're prepared for it, whether you're intending, whether you're intentional with them. Like, these are the cycles that we all go through. And so the waning phases of the moon cycle is the time for you to prepare your ground for the next cycle to begin. So what you don't want is to acknowledge, good job, baby, acknowledge toxicity in your current state, in your present state, and allow that toxicity to roll over into the new phases. Because in the new phase, you're planting new seeds, you're planting new intentions, you are being more intentional with the things that you already have going on and nurturing them, and you're investing in you're investing in that time. And so what you don't want to do is carry toxicity into that cycle with you. You want to clear as much as you possibly can so that you're starting with good rich soil, okay, fertile ground basically. So you go through the waning phases of the moon cycle, which brings you back down to the dark moon. Dark moon is the time, it is at 0%. It's the time for you to rest. It's a time for you to kind of recuperate and heal. And then the new moon is the time to get started again and to plant seeds and that new beginnings type of energy and the opportunity to initiate and, you know what I'm saying, move forward in some of the desires that you have you've come up with, some of the things that you intend for yourself. During the dark moon, while you're resting, you're also reflecting and you're planning. Not reflecting, you're more so planning during the dark moon. Resting, planning, new moon comes around, now let's get to work. And then the phase begins all over again. You're going to go through the new moon phase, and from that phase, you're going to go into the waxing phase, where it's going to increase in illumination again, moving all the way up to the full moon energy. Full moon energy. From there, you are going to experience the waning part of the phases, the waning phases of the cycle. Waning phases meaning it's decreasing in energy again. Now, in the middle of both waxing and waning is going to be quarter moons. So in the middle of the waxing moon cycle, it's going to be a first quarter moon. And then in the middle of the waning cycle, there's going to be a last quarter moon. Those are kind of halfway markers. Those are when illumination is at 50%. And as the moon is at 50% illumination, usually following that comes some challenges and some obstacles. You're going to be challenged to continue on your path. You're going to run into things that's going to cause you to have to press through. Those are the times where you don't give up. Those are the times that you do pay very attention to what's happening, because a delay is not always a denial, but you need to know what is working for you and what is not working for you. But no doubt you have to push through those phases. So I've just very quickly gone through all of the phases of the moon. I see you, baby. The next key thing about the moon phases is understanding that there's a whole blueprint of the universe. There's a whole blueprint of the heavens. And so as the earth is rotating around the sun, we also have to understand that the moon is rotating around the earth. And as it is moving through space, it moves through what we consider, or what we know of as the zodiacs. Okay, so like right now, the full moon energy is in Aries. Okay, and then we will be moving into Taurus energy. The next new moon that we're going to experience is going to be in Scorpio. And it seems like it can be overwhelming, but when you really take the time to pay attention and learn the information, it really actually begins to make sense, because it follows a cycle. Humans are the ones that are so caught up in our own everyday lives that we don't realize there's a bigger cycle, there's a bigger system that we were born into. Like, we're very self-centered instead of realizing we are a part of a bigger picture here. And so once you actually begin to pay attention to the cycles, then it becomes head on the swivel. Then it becomes a lot more clear what cycles you're moving into. And the clearer you are on the cycles universally that's going on around you, the clearer you are on those cycles, the more intentional you can be with your own energy and with setting your own intentions and with manifesting the things that you desire for yourself. It does not make sense for you to try to implement something new during a time where you should be clearing your ground and tilling your already grown plants. You know what I'm saying? It's not the time necessarily to go and harvest when you're actually planting new seeds. And you definitely don't want to be doing some random kind of work when you should actually be taking the time to rest. So to actually align yourself with universal energy would benefit you on a multitude of different levels. Understanding the zodiacs and the positions of the moon exactly, like phases and the illumination. Yes, you get to understand the energy that the moon is providing to us at any given time. But then you also understand, when you begin to understand the zodiacs, you begin to understand the characteristics that are energetically at play. So Aries energy is very intense, very aggressive, very direct. Potentially, I don't care about your feelings type of energy. It's very self-directed, initiating, leadership type energy. Like, this isn't the time for you to be sitting around waiting on somebody else to tell you what to do, or waiting on somebody to help you get something done. This is the time for you to get up and make a move in the direction that you need to make a move in. I've recently shared that one of the things I'm having to release during this particular moon cycle is a relationship I've been holding on to for too long. And I see you, baby. No, baby, mommy doesn't like to spin like that. I like to watch you spin. I had to release a relationship that I've been holding on to for too long, and I've just had to accept that doesn't serve me anymore. And as challenging as that is, it really doesn't matter. I've had to take the initiative to sever those ties, and that's exactly what I've been doing. That's exactly what I'll continue to do. And as I move into the waning phases of the moon, I will continue to take steps in releasing that, in forgiving with gratitude, so that as the new moon begins to set in, I'll be able to dive in head first with the intentions that I have for myself moving forward. So I'll be using that, and I am using this particular full moon in Aries energy very aggressively, very intentionally. It is serving me quite well during this time. I will tell you that actually being connected holistically and doing the work doesn't always feel good. A lot of emotions come up with the full moon energy. So a lot of stuff comes up that you need to deal with, that you're going to have to deal with. You begin to recognize a lot of things that you have to heal from. And to be completely honest, that shit hurts. Like, it doesn't always feel good. But it's absolutely necessary in order for you to progress in the direction you intend to progress in. It's absolutely necessary if healing is what you desire for yourself. And so, just like I've shared in a previous video, like, when you're faced with these challenges, the best thing for you to do is to just go through, and to get through. The only way to overcome it is to actually go through the process. So no matter what the challenges are, I encourage you to go through, and I encourage you to tap into the universal energy that's already at play around you, that you have direct access to at all times, in order to assist you in that process. So we'll be moving into the waning phases of the moon, and we will begin the waning phase of this particular moon cycle in Taurus. Well, that comes with a whole lot of benefits. It could come with a lot of challenges as well. Every zodiac has its ups and its downs, and that's simply because there's duality in everything. So just like in Aries, you can be very self-directed. You can also be very self-centered if you're not careful. So I've had to release this relationship because it doesn't serve me, but I've had to be sensitive with how I release the relationship, because it will impact my children directly and indirectly. And so I have to be careful not to become self-centered and insensitive to the very energies I desire and I intend to protect. Okay, so we'll talk a whole lot more about the different zodiacs coming up here soon. We will also continue to tap into the moon cycles. I think I'm probably going to regularly share updates on the moon cycles that we are experiencing, because my hope is that whoever is tapping into these videos will begin to utilize this universal source energy that is accessible to us at this time. So if you have any, yes baby, you need your sister. Kennedy, hey, let's go walk this way where Kaylin's going. And so I'm going to go on ahead and wrap this video up. Come on, babe. Come on, we're going to go to your sister. I'm going to go on and wrap this video up. Babies need my attention again. Yes, we'll come back up here. Kaylin's running, so we're going to go this way. Yes, I'm going to wrap this up so that I can get back to giving them my undivided attention. But if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to leave them in the comment section. You can also tap in with me via the website, One U Apothecary. I have to think about it. oneuapothecary.net. On the website, you can set up your own consultations, and we can talk specifically about your birth chart. We can talk specifically about your own energy, and I can assist you in setting intentions for yourself and being intentional in reaching those goals and manifesting what it is that you want. You can also access different tools, different types of source energy. So I offer herbs on the website. I also offer organic crystals, tinctures, essential oils. All types of things are available to you for those who, want to get started with it and they're not familiar with it exactly. For those that are already into it and you're looking for, a new source, because you do have to be intentional with sourcing your herbs, your tinctures, your crystals, all of that kind of stuff. So again, oneuapothecary.net is available to you if you're interested. Until next time, peace, light, and love.